Real quick, I just put the Blu-ray in, and it
Yeah,
does give me the option for theatrical or unrated. Which one do we want
let's go unrated. I don't think to be completely honest, I don't think I've ever seen unrated. Not that there's that much of a difference. There's 7 minutes and a little bit more blood, so which
to?
is what
Yeah,
I'm all
I've heard
about.
there's not much of a difference.
Yeah, I heard it's the one to go for, but you actually have this on Blu-ray?
Yeah, remember it's that 2-pack, and then when I opened it up, the AVP Requiem Blu-ray is disc one of two
Yeah, I got the same one. Yeah.
of the 2-pack, and I'm like, man,
Well, it says that both discs have both versions, so you don't have special features probably, but at least you have both versions. I have a
oh, they
DVD.
do.
Yeah, I have a DVD I can sell you with the special features.
I have AVP 2 on DVD. I need to toss it because it's like beyond repair. I bought it when Blockbuster was going out of business, and it was like $2. And that's also actually back on to movies that we've watched recently. That's actually how I got Halloween 2. The director's cut is when they were going out of business. I think this was like $6.
Yeah, dude, I paid in 20. I want to say it was 2010, maybe 2009. I paid $18 for the unrated version of Rob Zombie's Halloween.
And you
And
feel like they owe you at least $10 back.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, but no, yeah. So yeah, when you came in, I was apologizing for sounding like absolute crap, and like I'm gonna try to not cough and clear my throat and whatnot. But as I do it,
Yeah. I need to apologize. My chair is super creaky. I'm working on budgeting out for a new chair. I noticed it in some of the videos we've uploaded. I'm sorry, everybody. It was a cheap, I want to say $28 chair from IKEA a few years ago. It's now got a tilt like this in it. So if you swivel just right, you start going downhill like this. And you swivel back and you're level. And then if you go the other way, you start going downhill that way. So yeah, I apologize, everybody. So yeah, how's your week been? I feel like we should add that in.
oh, my week has been crazy. COVID scare with my 6 month old, and he's got RSV, and like I'm winded just from getting up and moving around and talking. Like yesterday, Brittany came home and I laid down. I was like I hardly move and I was winded. Like it's just hard to breathe. So I don't know if that's what I had. Like I said, I think it's a combination of a bunch of crap, but
Yeah.
yeah, it sucks. And
Well,
yeah, my 6 month old has it, or my excuse me, my 3 year old has it too. Uh,
oh,
yeah, it's garbage. I was able to
so
at least work from home for most of it, and I took off today and tomorrow for vacation to clean up and do some work around the house. Well, now I'm just daddy daycare, which is fine, but I was actually using that
nothing
time
got
to,
done.
yeah, nothing's getting done.
And
But
dude, so that vacation that I had, I was supposed to go to Colorado and take Wesley up to meet some family for the first time, stuff like that. No, no, wound up moving,
yeah, yeah,
and then wound up sick from like all the dust and crap. Gave me like 2 weeks of just like my allergies felt like a severe flu. Like, it was awful,
yeah.
awful. I don't recommend moving.
Hey,
Um,
are you gonna go to Comic Con?
so I'm going Saturday,
Okay.
but I am not dressing up. I am wearing a face mask. I'm just t-shirt, jeans, and that sucks. My wife and I had a heart-to-heart conversation about what's going on with the Delta variant, the fact that, we're vaccinated, but our son's not. And I still want to have fun. I just don't want to risk too much. So I'm masking up. I'm not taking photos. I'm not doing any of that. Um,
Yeah,
and it
that's
really sucks because I was excited. I like last minute put together my Halloween resurrection costume.
that's not.
I got the thing ready in like 3 days, and I'm not gonna get to use it, and I'm not gonna get to use the verses. I was gonna try and do like a half day split and take a backpack, but No, I'm not. I'm not risking it. I don't want to be in people's photos. I don't want people breathing on me.
Right. Well,
It's
and
not so much me. I worry about my son.
right. Well, same here. Well, and it's not even too. It's not just the Delta variant. Like my son has that RSV, like, and that's serious stuff to kids that
Hmm.
are, I think, under 2. It's more serious.
Um,
yeah. If I were to get
Tonight,
COVID on top of that,
Kevin, tonight we are going to be commentating the first Alien versus Predator
yeah,
because
buddy.
we have no lives, even though we were just talking about our lives. But we're talking about Comic Con, kind of catching up on our week, stuff like that, real quick before we get started. We are going to be watching the unrated cut of the film. Honestly, and this kind of sounds weird, I used to really love the movie when I was a kid or when it came out, like so teenager. Um, and then I sat down to watch it 3 or 4 years ago, and I couldn't get into it. I couldn't do it.
What?
And now
It's a slow build.
I feel like I bought it out of that like a completionist portion of my brain. I needed all of the Predator films instead of the fan portion. So yeah, we're talking about Alien versus Predator, but right now we're kind of talking about Comic Con. Um, are you going?
No, I
Going?
can't. Like with my son getting over RSV, and like if I were to pick up the variant, and like it's just I just can't do it. Like I'm already winded. He's exhausted. He hadn't slept very well this whole week, so it's been a rough week. But no,
Yeah.
going back to AVP real quick, like I've loved this movie forever because once again, like we were talking last week with Freddy vs. Jason, it's basically a movie we should have never gotten. Like either like because if you got to think about it, like Alien vs. Predator, right? Alien wasn't doing anything at this time. Predator hadn't done anything, and for the most part, was a dead franchise. You had Predator 1, and you had Predator 2, which I love Predator 2. I will defend that. Not as good as the first movie, but I really like it for what it is. But so you had 2 movies, and then really this is the third movie, and so it just seemed like a Predator was a weak franchise. Alien was a franchise that was on its way out. So I would have never figured 2004 we would have gotten this movie. But with the success of Freddy vs. Jason, this movie was greenlit.
Did
What?
you say Predator was a weak franchise? Predator and Predator 2 were actually really good.
Right, but as far as a franchise, like Predator 2, most people didn't like. Like I'm not saying me, I like it, but I'm just saying for most people, Predator 2 was the death nail in the coffin. They were kind of done with the franchise after that.
Which
Now it's more beloved
I
as it
didn't
had time to breathe.
understand. Like, even when I was a kid, I loved Predator 2. Absolutely loved it. And I never understood the hate that it got. I like the fact that the Predator, like, looks different. The armor's different. There's a little bit different weaponry, and you've got a different setting. And it didn't directly follow the first one, but it didn't ignore it either. So it didn't break any of the rules. It stayed fairly safe with being a decent budget film. Alien, though, yeah, I mean, yeah,
Right,
yeah.
and that's why I'm trying to be fair. Like I'm I love them, but I'm just saying that, the franchises for the most part were dead, and this is the saving grace. But
I
yeah,
think
I'm super excited to watch it again. It's been a while since I've seen this, but I've seen it a ton of times. Love this movie.
the video games really kind of brought it to life. The first game was well received, and then AVP 2, the game, was so well received that like it kept. I think there's still servers going for multiplayer on that.
Yeah,
Like it was so good, and Pred Alien was one of the yeah. But I remember buying AVP 2 for PC at Walmart, and I bought the first AVP as well because it was like $5. The second one was like $28, which at the time, that's a lot of money. Like what, 2000, 2001?
yeah.
I mowed a lot of lawns for that money.
Wait,
Uh,
2001 for the games?
when I bought it, yeah, I was late to them.
Oh, okay.
I was late to them because I was little and money.
Oh yeah, with Predator 2 with the alien skull. I really think they were probably pushing for a mashup of the two, but I'm not sure why. I
They
know that.
pulled they pulled a Freddy versus Jason or Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah, well, and I know that there was a lot of people pushing for it. It just couldn't get greenlit. And then, like we said, Freddy vs. Jason is the reason why this movie exists because it made so much money. But
And
yeah,
and Kevin, if you're late to all this, we did Freddy versus Jason last week. Originally, we were going to do Ghostbusters this week, but Ghostbusters isn't coming out for a while,
November, I
so we
believe.
decided to postpone that for now.
And I
And
was
we
in a
already covered
versus mood.
Candyman.
I
Dude,
was in a versus
we got to
mood.
work on a schedule.
I know.
Yeah, so now we're in a versus mood. We talked about Batman versus Superman, but honestly, the reason I kind of pushed against it is I'm not sure that I can do a 3.5 hour movie, and honestly, the director's cut is where it's at.
The only way to go.
Yeah, it's the only way to go, and I would need to do that like a Saturday afternoon. Like,
Yeah.
Killing three.
Hey, real fast, just real quick, and we'll get the movie started here. But Suicide Squad, or excuse me, The Suicide Squad. What did you think, real fast? Did you make it through it?
I didn't finish it. I got to basically them walking around and getting all of the Suicide Squad put together, and I stopped paying attention. There was a lot of humor. It seems better done, but I also feel like people are kind of doing this thing where they hate to love they love to hate and hate to love the first Suicide Squad. So they just kind of think that everything that comes now is the end all be all, and now we need the air cut. The same thing that happened with Batman versus Superman and all that. I never got that much into Suicide Squad. I didn't really enjoy the first one that much outside of Will Smith. And then this one, I mean, I thought the Weasel was hilarious. The
Right.
way he licked
Right.
that was great. I still need to finish it. I would need the time to actually sit down and watch it because I turned it on while I was cleaning, and I couldn't focus.
Yeah, I know
So
a lot of people are saying, like Kevin's saying he loved it, but a lot of people are like it's a 10 out of 10 or a 1 out of 10. There's really no in between. I won't spoil it for you just so that way you actually get a chance to watch it. But Bloodsport is obviously supposed to be Deadshot. They just couldn't get Will Smith in there. He couldn't commit to it, but he's still a good character. He has enough, and he's a legit character too. He's not like just some throw-in. He is a legit character in the DC universe, so it works. It plays. But there's some other points into the movie that you could just see that it was meant for Deadshot. But it's good. Like it's a movie where I sat down, I was entertained, I enjoyed it. The comedy was good. I liked the characters, but there's some things that happen that I'm a little disappointed. Like the characters and how they were used and utilized, and man, I don't know. It's I actually kind of prefer the first one more. I like that neon light, jazzy, that disco feel, that quick pace, that the little quick snips. The head security guard in the first Suicide Squad is hilarious when he's like taking pictures with Harley and he's like spring break and he's like always joking around. I don't know why. I love that movie. The end of that movie is absolute garbage, but I freaking love the first movie, and I actually do like the Suicide Squad. It just was different enough to where I'm not sure I liked it, but I'm not sure how much I liked it, or you know what I mean. There's a few things without spoiling anything that I wasn't really a big fan of, but it was a B-list fun for a huge budget. Yeah, I mean I feel like everybody should be able to enjoy it. It's funny and it's fun. I mean, it's not going to be Endgame. And I think, unfortunately, like we've had so many hits and misses with Marvel and DC that it's either you expect Endgame or you expect Suicide Squad, like, something where most people generally don't like. You know what I mean? That's unfortunately part of, but okay, good. Hey, this time since we're actually watching the same cut and DVD Blu-ray, we're watching it on Blu-ray, unrated cut. Are you on the menu where it's got unrated cut highlighted?
Nope. Here, let me go back to the menu.
This actually has an interactive menu on a Blu-ray. Like, you don't normally see that. It's mostly DVDs that did that.
Hold on. Give me just a second here.
Okay.
Real quick, while I'm getting this all loaded up to that screen, because I had it started playing, I guess, in the back. Like, I don't know. I must have hit play or something. That's my bad. Uh, uh, I also feel like anything that happens with DC at the moment is going to be kind of a disappointment after the Snyder Cut of the Justice League because we see what we would have gotten with that story arc. And I feel like for me, like, it's all going to fall flat. Like, I don't want Pattinson's Batman. I want the Flashpoint story arc. I want my Batman to be the old tattered Ben Affleck Bruce Wayne who was portraying the Dark Knight
So good. So good.
story. Like
Dude,
that's what I wanted.
dude, I know we talked about this probably last week, but the images of the stunt double on the motorcycle, it's so funny because like you're like, you know, in the Dark Knight when he's on the motorcycle and like the tires spin so he can't fall over and it rotates in the center. But this new one, we'll have to see it obviously, but it looks like you couldn't turn this thing to save your life at all, and it's so funny to watch those extras come out and like pick him up and rotate him to turn him. It's so funny. But anyway, Joker was going to be Jason Todd. I know, right, dude? That's what I was saying too. I went to bat so hardcore for I lost his name. Jared Leto, because he's a phenomenal actor. I think that his Joker was a little off. I think the like I said, it went apart with the neon lights, with the flashy, the gangster-ish. I mean, but with a little bit different. Jared Leto with a little bit of different direction. I think he could have been a great Joker, and I think we needed a little bit more time. And not only that, this goes back to the same thing where I talk about, like, you're right, Jason Todd, he was supposed to be the Joker, right? So this might not be the actual Joker, right? It's just like I always defend Lex Luthor, because that's not Luthor, that's Lex Luthor's son. So it's not the character you know, it's a different version of that character. Similar, but very different. I completely love Kevin, man. You got it, man. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, scuffs on the face, broken out teeth, damaged. This is what I'm talking about. Like, if people would just take a minute, use their brain, put a little bit more thought, and give it time for the story to actually, unravel, like we could have something epic, but everybody just took face value and hated it.
Well, I still hate the face value of his Joker in Suicide Squad. He looked like 2003 Marilyn Manson met 1999 Juggalos and had a baby, and I hated it. I loathed it. And I do think that's where Justice League started to separate. Like, the Joker that we got in that was not the same. That the brief little bit that we got, it was not the same.
Well, but that's also an older Joker at a different time. I mean, this is like, once again, it's not the Joker we know. It's a different version of the Joker because it's somebody else that became the Joker. It's the same thing as Martha Wayne when she becomes a Joker in Flashpoint. She's not Joker. She's a different version of similarities of that character. So
also, I'm brokenhearted that Jeffrey Dean Morgan will not be portraying Thomas Wayne. I had hopes. High hopes. Very high hopes. Because that was a perfect casting choice. Absolutely perfect.
It was.
So I'm back to the screen where it has the option for theatrical and unrated.
All right, so I'm highlighted on the unrated. Are you ready?
Yep.
Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
And another menu.
And on play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, engage. So there is special features on the next one. Robin costume and BVS says, yeah, exactly. Thank you. Like, could have been such an interesting character if you would have just given it some more time. Eric does say he does regret for him not being the main villain in Suicide Squad, and I think he is right. But at the same time, the Enchantress, I think, could have been a very interesting villain that we hadn't seen before. So, had it been done right, I think Enchantress might have been the way to go.
And also, I don't know, maybe if the Air Cut ever actually gets released, maybe the push for the Snyderverse getting restored and the push for the air cut can actually bring that to fruition, which he's making the point that I was going to make. Yeah, we got to speak up. Absolutely, like the Batman with Robert Pattinson coming out, I have very little interest in. I'm gonna see it because I'm a huge Batman fan,
Right.
but I want Batfleck restored. I want to know what's fully in that script that everybody who's read it says, "Holy crap, this is the movie," and Ben Affleck's your Batman. I want that.
Right.
There's a reason all those things exist. I could talk Batman all day, and that
Uh,
kills me.
I know. Well, man, here's my thing, and this goes for us in general, people in general in today's world. Like, I'm tired of people running their mouths. Like, let's put some money on it. Like, hey, release the error cut. If we can get to this dollar amount, we'll put that money and fund it, like a GoFundMe basically, or a oh, what do they call it for oh dang it,
Oh,
a what?
Indiegogo.
Indiegogo. Do an Indiegogo for it. Put your money where your mouth is. You want to see it? Put $5 in there. Put $10 in there. You know what I mean? Let's invest to see it.
So if I recall, this scene here was not in the theatrical cut. The opening scene, dude running and
I thought it was. Yeah, it was. It was. Maybe not running, but that last little scene was there. Because I remember him. Yeah, you see the green vision, and he shoots him.
yeah. I don't know. I could really go on and on about Batman, but honestly, without Batfleck, I don't think that I'm going to be as satisfied as I could be like with the Dark Knight trilogy. Like I don't think anything's gonna peak
Yeah.
that unless we can restore that. I don't care about Twilight Batman. I'll go see it if they make it, and if it's halfway decent, I might see the sequel. But I'd almost rather watch Batman and Robin.
Pattinson's a great actor. He really is. But like about his like whining on set, and then when the pandemic hit, and he was like, "I don't want to work out." It creates a stereotype about men. I was like, dude, you're a superhero that's supposed to have Olympic like physique. Like you're supposed to be the best of
That's
the
like
best. Like you have to be ripped. Like in
that's
today's
like a
world, you have to be.
huge part of Bruce Wayne's character is his extreme like workout regimen and
Right.
his training, and that's what goes into making him one of the strongest humans
Right.
ever in the DC universe.
Right. Well, and it's not like Michael Keaton back in the day where you could be kind of skinny and still be agile, but the bar has been raised. I mean, it just has. Like, I mean, you look at Val Kilmer, he wasn't in that great a shape, and then
Dude,
you look
look
at
at
Christian
Christian
Bale, then you
Bale.
look at Ben
He
Affleck.
raised it.
Yeah.
Like
It-
Christian Bale, it was like you could get guys that were kind of slimmer or something like that, and that's fine. And then Christian Bale came in and was huge. And then they were like, hold on,
for
what
the
if we
first
got
movie.
Ben Affleck buff?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know. You're a superhero. You're the superhero. You're Batman or Superman. I don't want to hear the last thing I want to hear is about you crying about having to work out or be in the suit. Quit crying. You got 10 years, maybe 15 years to play one of the coolest superheroes of all time. I don't want to hear you crying.
and I feel like you're the youngest cast to play somebody who could have like a contract that goes for years. So
Yeah.
honestly, what, just quit.
Right.
Don't finish filming, quit.
I don't know. Like you said, I'm with you, man. I want to see it because I'm a huge Batman fan. Like it's my first love. '89 Batman is my favorite movie of all time. But I don't care. I want to see Flashpoint, and that's it. But
Yeah.
anyway, like okay, who
Who's
climbs a
doing
mountain
this
like this?
alone? So who's going up icy mountain alone, and who has cell reception? What year was this? 2004, 2005?
2004.
You don't have cell reception up there.
No.
You don't have cell reception up there today.
Right. Well, she's not even using any like suspension or like safety catches. Like she's just like she's literally free balling it up there. She's letting whatever happens happens. She
I
could at
will
least have a
say,
parachute on.
thinking back about it, like when I first saw this movie, I didn't know a lot about the comic line or anything like that. The only comic I owned was Predator versus Judge Dredd, which is still the only one I own. But
That's awesome.
um, learning that there were people who became uh, part of the, I can't say the word right, but the predator tribes because of their hunting skills. That part's kind of awesome about this movie. I feel like it could have been done darker because I think the version we got was PG-13, right?
Right, right. Dude, and
Which
this part right
that
here is
was,
completely ripped off of Exorcist.
hey, if the shoe fits, lace it up.
Lace it up.
Speaking of laces, did you see
Lace is
Jim
out.
Carrey was not? Yeah. Did you see Jim Carrey was not cast in Ace Ventura 3?
Oh, really? I heard he was pushing for it. I didn't realize he wasn't cast.
Nope, they're looking for somebody new. And I say no Jim Carrey and Ace Ventura, no dice. Kind
Yeah,
of like no Jim Carrey and The Mask. We saw that.
I didn't.
No dice.
I own it. I've never seen it.
I made it about 20 minutes through and just hated every second of it.
I love Jamie Kennedy. I watch his YouTube channel occasionally. I love him, but yeah, I have no want to watch that movie. Um, dude, I tell you right now, Ernest meets Ace Ventura. Ernest loses Rimshot, his dog, and he has to employ Ace Ventura. Gold all day long would have been the best partnership duo of all time.
So one of my old coworkers, I doubt she'll ever watch this, and I talked about like dream movies and dream movie ideas. One of our ideas was Matthew Lillard cast as Ernest in a biopic, or Matthew Lillard taking over Ernest in the films and continuing the Ernest legacy.
Yeah, I
And
love Ernest.
I'm totally on board. Totally on board. I actually think Matthew Lillard could work for that.
Yeah, I like that. We just saw the magazine where it said Bishop Whalen. I forgot the
Yeah.
first name already, but it's pretty cool. It throws it back to that.
This movie
Obviously,
did try and throw back to at least the Alien films really well.
right.
I wonder if there was a reason why, specifically Alien. Because I feel like the Predators were kind of just used as brute force and that was it. And then the aliens, they do have lots of little name drop, like the Wheeling Corp, and they talk
Utani.
about, yeah,
Yeah, the thing that bugs me about this is like, so if you in the first Predator movie, the second Predator movie, Predators, all of it, all it's always super super hot. Like they only come down when it's really hot. Like that's a part of their hunting thing. I really wish that they would have I wish they would have had like a lot more. Like they do have more armor on in this movie, but I wish they would have had a more of a suit to keep them hot, just to kind of bulk them up a little bit more and add something to it. Because it's kind of weird. You take a jungle hunter that has to do with heat, and you throw them in the ice. It's just kind of weird. That was something that didn't flow very well for me.
for me, I still think that my favorite Predator design is in this movie, and it's the Celtic Predator. And spoilers, it sucks that he doesn't make it through. Um, but I still to this day, that is my favorite Predator mask, armor, all that. And I have been dying to add a Celtic Predator to my collection. I prefer the NECA version, but NECA, McFarlane, I can't find them for below $70.
I wish they would do one like that where it's $10 and you just fix it yourself, like repaint it.
Yeah. It got me. They did the Berserker Predator, right?
Which one's
Yeah,
he?
yeah. That's the one you have right behind you, the Berserker from Predators.
Yeah, with the skull. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Yeah, for $10. Yeah, I'll repaint the mask and everything, the helmet. Yeah.
That is a sequel that I feel like gets a lot of unnecessary hate,
Oh, I love
even
Predators.
though I am a person who's on board with that. I don't think we should have big predators hunting little predators. I feel like that's just a little weird, and that led to the Predator, which was hot garbage all the way around.
But it makes sense if you were an alien race that was messing with technology and trying to boost yourself, it makes complete sense that you would also mess with your DNA to increase your mass and your size, your strength. It makes sense to me. That's why I kind of give the
It
Predators
makes sense,
garbage, but I give it a pass.
but it was executed semi okay in Predators and absolutely terrible in The Predator.
Oh, the Predator's bad. The CGI is just horrible.
The Predator looks cool, like the little Predator looks cool. I don't really like the big Predator.
Right, it's because it's
This
all
dude,
CGI.
this actor, by the way, John, I don't know if we're gonna have time this Halloween season.
Lance Hendrickson?
Yes,
Yeah.
we should. If
Pumpkinhead?
we
I've
get
never
time
seen
this
it.
Halloween. Dude, it's so I haven't seen it all the way through in probably 4 or 5 years. This could be a really fun watch.
No. I like this pyramid idea. I think it's a little hokey how shifty it gets, but I really do. I don't know. I like the history of it. I like the idea that they were here before us, or they,
They
I
helped
don't
us
know.
build things and create our civilization.
Right.
It plays on things that were playing on History Channel at the time, and plays on kind of books that were written from people that we consider to be high scholars on how else could we have made these things happen without some sort of intervention from another worldly force. It's a good play. It's a really good play.
Yeah. There's a lot of actors that are just here to die, but I like, for most of them that actually have like speaking roles, I like most of the characters.
It's kind of weird because I feel like a lot of this cast, like around this time, may not have been as big of a name as they are today.
Well, yeah, I
Like,
think a lot of them were stuck in that B like 90s time where, there's a lot of sci-fi actors in here that, um, yeah, like the guy with the scars, I can't remember his name, but he was in Braveheart. He was in Gladiator,
and
Sons of
then he
Anarchy. The
became
guy
one of
with this,
them. Yeah, and then he
he's a
became a leading role in Sons of Anarchy.
right. He's a great B-list actor.
I want to call him Chibs, which is his character in Sons of Anarchy, and that's not his name. That's
I
not
know.
his name.
I'm on season 4 right now. Actually, I'm watching. I
Oh
finished.
man,
I finished Sopranos, and now I'm watching
have
Sons of
you seen
Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy all the way through
Oh,
before?
oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
For me though, I don't know why. It's just my personality. But just like for Nightmare on Elm Street, excuse me, A Nightmare on Elm Street, I stop at 3. I think for me, the show for the most part ends at season 3. After season 3, nothing good happens, and it's nothing but they just get crapped on. People die. Like, I mean,
For me,
in season 5, one of the characters gets raped repeatedly, and it's just so depressing and like, ugh. I don't know. There's no good guys. There's nobody to root for. There's nobody to lean on. I don't know.
well, that's kind of like the culture that they were trying to set. And for
Uh,
me, the show kind of takes a halt when they bury Opie.
yeah. Spoiler.
Spoiler from like if you haven't
2015.
seen, yeah. And then it just I stopped watching then for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I feel like, and then caught up and watched the end. And honestly, I feel like you could draw a straight line from that to the last 2 episodes and be mostly okay.
I hate the last episode. It's absolute garbage. I hate
I
it.
liked it. I think it fit.
Yeah. I don't like it. I don't know. No, I don't know. There's no good way to end characters like that.
No, there's not. And I think the worst part about that episode is the CG. That's it for
Yeah.
me.
I can
Speaking
really
of
tell.
bad CG, did you
I can
see
really.
that?
Yeah. The Northern Lights. Um, no, this movie, going back to Alien vs. Predator, since this is the movie we're actually watching. This movie seems like it was made from an Aliens lover of the franchise, and then AVPR seems like it's from the Predator side. It's really weird. I'm not sure why.
Okay, so arguably the most tactical predator is in AVPR, the Wolf Predator. And that's how we got the nickname is the Wolf from
Pulp Fiction.
thank you. I was gonna say Reservoir Dogs, that's not right.
Close.
I mean, I was in the same
Right.
area.
Close.
But that Predator is brilliant. And I guess Lee McCoy from Killer Flicks and his channel just recently rendered the film brighter and watched it.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that he can get this released. I doubt it. But if you could really bring the light into it so you can see half the scenes in that movie, I feel like it would be 10 times better. And then
Yeah.
if you could get rid of some of the soapy dialogue, it'd be even better. But
his channel is Drum Dums, and he actually offered anybody that wants it to just message him, and he said that he would send it over to him. He just requests that you actually own the movie first. That way you're not ripping off the movie. But yeah.
he what? He did?
Mm-hmm.
Did you message him?
I did not.
I'm gonna.
Okay, yeah, go for it. Yeah.
I'll take photos of my copies. I own two. I need help. Help. I need to see this movie. Literally.
Yeah. I don't know. See, for me, AVPR, I kind of like that it's dark. Like, it's too dark, 100%. But I just like how dirty and nasty that movie is. That movie's
you should
mean.
also be able to see in the sewer. Like,
no, you shouldn't. You should not be able to see in the sewer.
Then it's not a movie. That's the point. You should be able to see what's happening. Otherwise, you have a black screen with loud noises.
Right. Natural lighting is really, really hard to pull off, especially when you're in dark areas that have no natural light. I'm just saying I appreciate the movie because to me it feels real. It feels like I'm in a place that I can't see. The whole movie, and like when it's bright out I can see it, but when it's dark I can't see it, and I feel like to me it works. I don't know. I get what everybody says. I completely agree, but for me the movie works.
Yeah. I also feel like the teens in AVPR are copy and paste Friday the 13th reboot, copy and paste like all that era's like reboot, sequel, spin-off, prequels, and B-rated films. Like it's just the same like blonde teen dudes and girls who are all actually like 28 years old. Oh,
yeah, if he threw my keys in the sewer, though, I'm telling you right now, I'm just gonna sell my truck.
Oh, you would.
I'm not going after it.
The cinematography that you can see in that film actually reminds me of Hostage, which isn't a bad thing. Hostage is a really good movie with Bruce Willis. That is a really good one.
That's like top 5 Bruce Willis movies nobody talks about.
Do I own that? I thought I did. Well,
Caleb. Hey, Caleb, ask me if I own it.
How many copies do you own?
Yes. I think I only own one.
I used to have it. I think that's one of the movies that somebody 5-finger discounted from me.
Yeah. Well, I'll keep an eye out, man. You need to send me an updated list, and I'll check the pawn shop.
Updated list? Dude, I'm heartbroken at some of the movies that I used to own that I don't anymore.
Well, dude, you were talking about 1 Hour Photo. I picked up 1 Hour Photo, Final Cut. I'm trying to see it right now. Disturbia. I have 3 copies of that now. My bad. Planet of the Apes with Mark Wahlberg.
I actually don't own Disturbia.
Oh, really? Well, yeah. I've got 2 copies. You can have one. I got 127 Hours, What Lies Beneath. Phone Booth. Ooh, I got Phone Booth, Clueless. And then I got the Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr. 1 and 2. They were doing a stretch at 50 cents a piece.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I also, okay, real quick. If science class taught me anything, it's that you don't want to go on the ice in the middle of the night not exactly knowing what you're facing. Like, I feel like that was like 9th grade science. Like, if you're going to go on a dig, just make sure that you know what. Bad CG, really bad CG. Also,
really?
30 Days of Night.
Yeah. Well, and it felt like the thing, too, with those bobcats.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, you could argue that it's like The Shining, too. Kind of.
Man, 30 Days of Night is another really good movie people don't talk about enough.
That's a good movie.
What happened to Josh Arnett? Arnett?
I think he was a heartthrob in his early 20s, and I think he just
Right.
faded out. But have you seen Bunraku?
Seen what?
Bunraku?
Uh-uh.
So it's got him in it. It's got Ron Perlman from Sons of Anarchy, and it's got Woody Harrelson in it. It is
Ooh.
a comic book action western, Eastern Western movie. They've outlawed guns, and so they all have to use like. Have you ever seen Gangs of New York?
Yeah.
It's kind of like Gangs of New York meets like a westerny comic book movie, dude. It's phenomenal. Ron Perlman plays the big bad guy, and Woody Harrelson's awesome in it. You got to watch that. Bonraku's fantastic.
We'll have to watch that.
I might
Speaking of
actually have two
games,
copies of that.
man, you need to chill.
I know. I'm out of room, so I kind of have to.
Speaking of gangs in New York, old colleague when I worked at the shelter, his favorite movie of all time was Gangs of New York. Mine is Terminator 2 Judgment Day. And he came up to me and was like, I'll bet you that Gangs of New York is higher rated than Terminator 2. And I was like, I will tell you right now without looking at anything at all, hands down, not true. Like, I was like, you can look at all the reports you want. And sure enough, he pulls out his phone and starts digging through reviews. And like, Terminator 2 has no lower than an 8.5 through like every rating service.
Oh,
If
dude.
not a 9 or 9.5. Gangs in New York was like a solid 7 to 7.5.
Yeah.
One had a 6. And I was like, dude, you can't. There's few films throughout history that make it to a level 9 across the board. Terminator 2 barely does it. And
Yeah.
I will never forget that day. He's like, yeah, man, I know Gangs of New York is higher rated. And he bet me lunch. Like, dude, I appreciate the lunch.
It's great. It's got great acting. The action's great, but the ending is weak. The ending, you have to end on a high note, and it just doesn't, for me anyway. But everybody's acting is phenomenal. Daniel Day-Lewis and Leonardo DiCaprio, you can't ask for better actors.
Yeah. Something about this, like, fake snow look, it just looks like they powder coated everything and then spray painted it white. Like,
Yeah.
this always threw me that this set looks way too fake.
She handled that light in her face way better than I would have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Penguin. Danny DeVito, there you are.
Dude, my sister-in-law and my cousin on my wife's side, they're obsessed with penguins. Like they went swimming with penguins. They love them. I was like, you do realize like you're swimming in penguin poop. Like they probably pooped on you. I don't know. Penguins are cute, but every time I go to the zoo, like everywhere they walk is just covered in crap, and so it's all like yellowy green everywhere. It's kind of just it takes away the magic.
We are one of the few species who don't trudge in our own filth.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a barrier you can't handle to cross.
No.
Well, just don't clean your head in a toilet and you'll be all right.
Right. Dude, our
And
species.
you'll rate that the same as Candyman. I'm never going to get over that.
Our species is it's a crock of crap, man. Our species, we are born knowing, well, not born at instantly, but we know we're going to die, and we know the ramifications of everything we do, and depending on your own conscience and like your own, like, should I take care of my body? Do I care of other people? Should I wear a mask? Should I not? Vaccinated, not? You know what I'm saying? Smoking in or out, like, it sucks being human. I would rather be like, well, obviously nobody wants to be a rabbit, but I'd rather be like a lion than just like, well, I'm going to just lay here all day, then I'm going to go eat, then I'm going to sit here again. Like,
okay, this montage, sorry to interrupt, is super Batman and Robin.
Oh, I love it.
Blade, mask.
I love it.
No, I get what you're saying. Like, there's something to be said about, like, it would almost be better to be, like, a dog in a really loving home.
Right. just be oblivious on like, hey, I'm just gonna eat steak for the rest of my life, and who cares? Like, I don't.
Well, I could pitch a fun question that will take us completely off course. Um, but it really is like we've constructed this society that way, and people are just not wanting to break the rules enough to make changes to that.
Yeah, yeah,
There's no logical reason outside of, well, this is the way things are, that things have to continue to be this way. That's coming from somebody who's done taxes, billing, all sorts of stuff like that. There's no logical reason outside of this is how it works.
well,
That
change is very slow, especially when you have 400 million plus people. So I mean, we'll see, but yeah, the thing I take comfort in is there's a lot of things where I just have no clue about. Like when it comes to certain government things, like I know it's a crock, but at the same time, I just rely on, I just hope at the end of the day on some things that I don't agree with or whatever, that there's something out there that I just don't know. So it just also helps me to keep my mouth shut because there's more, obviously there's more stuff that I don't know than I do know. And when everybody talks on Facebook and wants to argue, I don't have 12 hours to argue why I think this is good or bad. Like, because first of all, I don't even know everything in and out of it, and I hate talking about stuff where, if I'm actually going to give my opinion, I'd like it to be informed. That's why I just talk about movies, is because it's useless information that unfortunately I retain, but it's entertainment.
now, we will at some point probably come across a highly political or highly controversial film that we'll cover.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have one or two under our belt. We try and be mindful of that and be polite around the topics because they are sensitive. And
Right.
I think John and I are both on the same page on the fact that we're not trying to be out there to irritate anybody on this. Like, if I wanted to do that, I would go into a comment thread and give my 2 cents.
Right. Well, like, okay, like real quick, going back to the movie, Waylon's going down the tube, and
Down the tube.
and like he's dying anyway, dude. Part of you just be like, well, there's worse ways to go.
I just want to say real quick that laser beam that made the hole in the ground, laser, made it perfectly look like the inside of a plastic tunnel pipe.
Right. It reminds me of Jeepers Creepers, like when he's dropping the bodies down.
Yeah. Also, how would that shit be that silent?
Future technology, man. Like we have stealth technology now.
Mediocre CGI. Is kind of what hurts this film.
I've got a lot of lights on right now, so I think that's probably helping. But yeah, it would probably be worse if I turned the lights off. But since I put this new TV in this room, I haven't watched a movie with the lights off, so I haven't watched it with surround sound. I've just been watching it on my Turtle Beaches, which is fine, but like it's funny all the electronic crap I've got around me, and what I really use is this setup, the TV, and these headphones.
I feel like this is the first time, like the Jungle Predator in the first Predator was larger, but not like scary buff. The City Hunter was kind of scraggly and a little scrawnier.
He's played by the same guy.
But he looked less buff and more athletic. You know what I mean?
I think it's because he didn't have this shoulder armor. Like, he just had less armor.
And then these Predators are like, we are here to take down Arnold.
Right.
Like, they're huge.
Yeah, they brought, like, the Big Show and Kevin Nash and all their buddies. And, like, yeah.
Dude, Kevin Nash, yes. WCW, Monday Night Nitro.
NWO. New World Order.
And then WWF bought them out.
Oh, dude. Nothing was cooler than NWO and then the Wolfpack, like the Too Sweet, man. Like,
Nation of Domination was cooler. Fight Man. And DX.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Yeah. Shawn Michaels.
He's a prima donna.
Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kane, and The Undertaker. Dude,
Ah,
we had Mankind. We
ah.
had Mick Foley.
You had Kevin Nash, you had Sting, you had Hulk
Yeah.
Hogan, you had Booker T.
And the company that I watched bought that company.
Yeah, that does suck.
I
Well, what's
was
his
reading
name?
recently.
Oh damn! Why I can't. He always had the leather jacket on. Bischoff, Eric Bischoff. I
Yeah,
think he just wasn't as good as. I mean, he was a good businessman, but I just don't think he was as good as what's his name?
Vince McMahon.
Yeah, I think Vince McMahon. I mean, he had a personality. He had the physique. He had the attitude.
The other problem is like recently WWE's been getting in a lot of issues. They let go a bunch of current talent that other companies are starting to pick up. And it's to the point that I feel like they're letting off talent because they're trying to sign John Cena again. And I'm like, you've gone too far.
Dude, did you see John Cena? Somebody CGI'd the Terminator like leather jacket over him with a stern face. Bro, looked amazing.
I did not. I'm
Oh,
still a
dude,
firm believer that the rumor for T3 was supposed to be Vin Diesel, and we should have got that movie.
that would have been awesome. Hey, there's a spot in the Suicide Squad where Cena comes out, right, and he's basically naked with tidy whities on, and like they're making fun of him in tidy whities, but it looks like he's like hiding a squirrel in his tidy whities, and then he's like buff out of his mind, dude. He reminds me of Arnold. Like he is peak '90s Arnold right now. Get his ass in a Terminator tomorrow. Like, see what
It's
I'm
just,
like.
I saw the Marine. He's not a great actor. And,
Neither was Arnold when he did the first Terminator. He wasn't a
but
good
I see
actor when he
him
did the second
being
Terminator.
sarcastic. I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, dude,
Okay.
this
We
is
have
sweet.
not
That
been
alien
talking
hookup
about
right
this
there.
movie at all. Sorry, everybody.
No, I know. Hey, this is our hangout time. But no, the Queen Alien right here, all chained up, right there. I'm so happy I bought that one. Caleb, you need to buy one and paint it while you still can.
So I'm guessing you avoided this text, replying to my text. Are you Team Alien or Team Predator?
Oh, I thought I responded to that. No, I was gonna say I was gonna wait till the movie was over.
Oh, till the movie's over? Okay.
Well, I guess I can go ahead and say it now since we're watching it. I'm Team Predator. I love
Okay,
Alien,
Team Predator.
but
Yeah, same.
yeah.
I was worried for a minute the way you just didn't text back for like an hour.
Oh no, my bad. No, I
No,
love
you didn't.
But aliens are villains. They just are, like, through and through. Like predators can have some compassion. They can not kill you because you're unarmed. Like they have thought. They're not a hive mind like aliens. Like I just like Predator more. But I love the Alien franchise just as much. Well, sorry, I love Alien 1 and 2, and I like Resurrection.
I find it interesting that Alien and Terminator, if you cut it down, are the same concept executed very, very differently.
Yeah, yeah.
And it works. They both work separately and independently, but yeah, I mean,
A
like
lot of
imagine like you're trapped up against an unkillable machine. You're trapped up against an unkillable insect-looking alien. Then you're trapped up against a predator. Like, no, I give up.
yeah. Well, make no mistake, Arnold got lucky in that first movie. I mean, like,
Oh yeah.
9 out of 10 times he's dying.
Oh yeah. I feel like that was Doctor Strange. I'm here to make a deal. Over and over and over.
I'm here to bargain. I come to bargain, excuse me.
Yeah, I've come to bar. That's what it is.
I love their guns, though. I know I can't remember the name of the weapons, but they kind of remind me of the pulse rifle in
This looks
Aliens.
good. Sorry to interrupt.
No, yeah,
Like as much
the
as the
spear.
3D looks bad in the movie, that looks bad. But when it was first coming back to life from the electricity, like that looked good.
Yeah.
That looks bad. Not Wolverine bad, but bad. I don't think
God.
anything will top how bad Wolverine's claws look in Wolverine. And that sucks because I like the rest of the movie. I'm one of the few people who do like it. I don't think it's great, but it's a fun action movie.
Dude, I'll never understand. Just after editing our videos, I'll never understand how some people let certain things go through without fixing it, cleaning it up, or reshooting it. I understand you can't always reshoot stuff, but I'll never understand. Like the same thing with Halloween
Celtic
H2O.
Predator. That's my guy.
I don't. Yeah, I like that his mask is different. God, he's huge. Good lordy, he's huge.
Right? I want to know who portrayed the Predators in this movie because they had to be on stilts.
Right. Either that or they did some force perspective.
Look at these.
Uh, yeah, they are like chest swole, muscle bound, like
They're
it.
like The Rock circa 2015.
Well, see, it's interesting because if you saw these predators go up against the alpha predators or whatever they're called in Predators, I wonder. Like, I don't think there would have been that much of a difference. Like, I mean, I still think they're smaller, obviously, but I don't think it would have been as big of a deal. Sacrificial chamber. His voice is awesome. Is it weird that I'm not into ladies with accents, but when it comes to men, I dig it a lot?
I I have no response to that.
I don't know what it is. Like, I just, like, when it comes to women, it doesn't do anything for me, but there's something to be said about a man with an accent.
I'm pleading the fifth. So this tomb, does it also remind you of Prometheus? Like, I don't think I've sat down and actually watched this through and through since I've seen Prometheus, but for some reason it's really reminding me of that.
Yeah, Prometheus had a real blue tinge to it. It also had that dirty alien ship vibe. Maybe. You need to go back and watch Prometheus. Everybody needs to give Prometheus another shot. Once you've subverted your expectations and you know what you're going in for, it's actually a much better movie. The ideas behind the movie, the depth, the cinematic language in the movie is really good.
I also feel like it Prometheus and God, what's the other one?
Covenant,
Covenant.
right there.
I feel like so Prometheus was a good setup. I still wasn't the biggest fan of the movie, but then the fans cried out about the xenomorph. And I do think Covenant would have been a far different film had people have not complained and let it play out. Because even like producers and stuff were talking about the fact that the original scripts were looking a lot different until people were complaining over and over again about the xenomorph.
Yeah,
And he was leading to it. It was going to be a slow build, and I don't know. Too much fan service, I guess.
well, slow builds are dead for big franchises. They just are. You can start a new franchise and slow build it, but you can't.
But I don't think that Alien and Aliens needs to have a fast-paced prequel. If you're going to do the prequel route, I'd rather get the whole story, and as long as it takes, because there was depth in the settings, there was depth in the characters, there was depth in the motive, and then they were just like, we got to rush it for fan service, and Covenant was really anticlimactic.
But you set the flavor in the first, second, third, fourth movie. You set the flavor of the intensity of these aliens, what they can do. You have to give not necessarily xenomorphs, but you have to actually give some kind of alien species in there. You have to give it some flavor of the original franchise, enough to keep it going and interesting, and like show some different failures of the xenomorphs, like at the end of Prometheus. Show more things like that.
I will say, I think people would have been more accepting of it if it would have been like an HBO series instead of it was supposed to be a film trilogy. I think people would have been way more on board with that. because people are more okay with I can do a slow build for 8 1 hour sessions
Right.
than three 2.5 hour sessions.
Right. Well, I think the characters were decent in Prometheus. So I think,
Real
at the end of
quick,
the day, just not very many were left standing.
how are these like rolling? Like
Hey, it's an
who's
assembly line, man. That was a,
that? That is a prehistoric assembly line,
hey,
still
well,
functioning.
the Predators developed it though. They made this with the help of the humans. They made the humans do the work, but the Predators really made this temple. It's so funny. It's like, oh, you have an accent, you have a deep voice, you're in. You're cast.
That dude, I realized what I was thinking of. I was thinking of Arrow. He was in Arrow.
Which one?
Uh, the gentleman who spoke last, who was the buzz cut and the short beard.
Oh yeah, he was the director of whatever. Queen. Yeah,
Industries, yeah.
he's also in Resident Evil, which was 2 years before this movie, and he was in like the fourth Resident Evil where he gets resurrected from the DNA or whatever. So yeah, he was in something else too.
I just want to say what a waste of money buying the Resident Evil box set was, and then finding out it's missing the last one, and then trying to watch any of them past three. That was a bad time. That was a flat out bad
Do you still have
time.
all of them?
Yes.
Do you have
Well, it's
all?
not box set, I
Do you have the
guess.
last one?
No.
I'm gonna give you the last one to complete your collection because I have an
Why would
extra
you do
copy of
that?
the last one.
Okay, so it's the Resident Evil collection, and it ends at Retribution. And bro, I tried. I made it like 15 minutes into Afterlife and was just like, and then I was like, okay, I'll move on because I looked at the Google reviews and Retribution had a higher rating by like half, like like a quarter of a point. Like, okay, no.
I will say though, because I just binge watched all of them up to the last movie. All of them are actually all of them are actually pretty decent if you watch them back to back. The problem is they slowly decline, and if you just pop one in because you've seen the first three so many times, they're bad. They're not good, but if you watch them back to back, they're really not that bad.
I just don't understand how they could fall so hard. The first one was great. Two was a cinematic adventure that was pleasurable, but wasn't really as good as the first. Like, it just wasn't. And three was kind of, it was all right,
It
but it
was
wasn't
beginning to get
great.
out there.
Yeah. And then you see the fourth one, and you're just like, oh my God,
Yeah.
what am I doing? Why am I
Hey,
here? Who did this to me?
hey, Caleb, can you say pleasurable for me one more time, please?
Pleasurable.
No, 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 like you did it before, like slowly and sexually.
No. One time
No,
thing.
the problem with zombies though is zombies have a shelf life, especially when it comes to movies. Like you just can't do very much. Zombie movies really just they don't end well, and that's you know it. In zombie movies, they're a dime a dozen these days. So
Two things. Number one, these predator weapons being laid here, I feel like they kind of explain how cool they are, like
mhm.
for 2 seconds, but then they don't really do anything more than the already equipped predator weapons, like that we've seen in the first two predator films. I don't understand that. Like,
Well, the reason they put them there is like there's a goal for the predators. Like it's a game. They have to get to the center to get to these, and by the time you get to the center, you'd be surrounded by the aliens. So I think it's more of a like, and it shows skill too. Like you have to get there and earn it. Like if you just walk in with a laser cannon, yeah, you're gonna win. You've got invisibility and a laser cannon. Like that's cheating.
and on that zombie note, I haven't watched The Walking Dead since like season 4 or 5, and that was a struggle to make it that far.
I'll tell you what.
And
If somebody can get an abridged version of that show for me, I will pay you for it. I want to watch good episode to good episode, get rid of all the filler, get rid of all the crap. God dang, that show is annoying. I love it, but
I
it's
like the,
annoying.
yeah. I I mean, I agree with dude. Why are you gonna grab those? That was
What?
stupid.
Well, and why? Why would this guy think? I mean, I guess there's been tripwires and stuff like that, and he doesn't know what they are, so he's like, just leave it alone. I guess I get that. It could have been booby trapped.
Especially because they're talking about like they're doing an exploratory mission. So why would you risk? Why would you risk? Like that is the worst Indiana Jones move. He watched Indiana Jones. That's what that was.
Oh, here's a
Um,
question for you. What's better, Temple or not Temple? Raiders of the Lost Ark or The Last Crusade?
you're not gonna like me. I have not watched them in so long that I don't think I have a valid opinion.
Oh my God, you suck. No
Um,
offense.
Also on the zombie thing, after watching 28 Days Later for the first time in years, yeah, I could not believe how much I enjoyed that movie. And I remember when I first saw it, I was like, it's all right. And rewatching it this time, I was like, dude, this is awesome.
Yeah, that's how I kind of felt about I Am Legend. Like I watched it probably 3 times in theaters. Just it was just a year where I had time on my hands, and I had buddies that worked at a theater. But I just watched it 2, 3 months ago, and I was like, when I got done, I was like, nope, this movie's fantastic.
Yeah.
Did you know Arnold was supposed to be in that originally? That's
Yep, I
amazing.
followed Arnold fans because, again, Arnold's favorite actor, and I knew he was cast originally, and I was really looking forward to it. And when the Will Smith announcement came out, I was mad, but not terribly disappointed.
Yeah.
Side note, face huggers are probably my favorite part of the Alien just because, like, everybody in the room looks equally shocked no matter what when they come out.
Right. That slow mo was cool.
Back on the boat safely.
Was was he in Jason X? I feel he's like it's going to take more than that to put to take out this old
He's
dog, and
not
then
the
Jason
same
stabs him
actor.
again.
He's not the same actor,
Okay,
but they have similar features.
okay, bald and kind of grizzled, and that has a voice like that. Okay,
Yeah.
happens to be a shader, a darker shade. That sounds
Dude,
bad. I know. I'm trying to like. It sounds bad, but you know.
now I
I,
want to watch Jason X.
oh, dude, I watched that like 2, 3 weeks. No, I had, probably about a month ago. So good, so bad, good.
Why do you think I built that costume?
Dude,
I don't care. I love the snub nosed Jason look. The pre
it's
Uber.
mean. It's
Like
it's
it
the it's the meanest looking Jason. Like he looks like he's ready to just hike, kill the quarterback. Like I love the snub nose. I think it looks great.
yeah.
This is something that does kind of bother me when it comes to future Alien movies, like when it comes to AVPR, when it comes to AVP. Um, because in the first Alien movie, it took a long time for what's his name? I forgot his name. For the chest burster to burst out there at the lunch scene or dinner scene, and in
But
the
now it's instant.
right, and in the third movie, it took forever for Ripley. Like, and now all of a sudden, it's like 30 minutes later. And I understand, like, a part of me is like, is
Oh,
it like
that
a
looks
rush thing
bad.
where it knows?
Oh man, that looked terrible.
I don't know. I think a part of it is just my brain knowing this is early 2000s and the budget that they had. I think it's bad, but I think at the same time I kind of understand it. The thing I can't understand is the 2011's The Thing. Like I
I
just don't
still need to go
understand.
back and rewatch that. Oh god.
Dude, it's
Those
so good. It's so
uh
good. You know what pisses
my
me off is
buddy.
I gave you the good copy of it on DVD and I took the rental version which sucks bad.
Dude, what I realized, a buddy of mine was telling me that he watched he watched The Thing, and then he watched a couple of he watched like The Void, and then he watched a couple more indie horror films, and then he watched Dreamcatcher. And I haven't seen that movie since it came out.
I watched Dreamcatcher about 2 years ago, man. I was not impressed at all. I could not like up about 25% of the way in, I was like, okay, this is interesting. Weird things are happening. And then it just felt so B movie that I just could not go with it.
And he was kind of talking about that, and he was like, from watching all of these like indie like weird films, it kind of works. Like he was in a mood with those kind of movies.
Yeah, but the
And
fact that I know that it's connected to like Stephen King's It and other things, and I'm like looking for those connections, I don't know. I just couldn't get into it.
yeah, why was he not invisible there? Like, why didn't he cloak? That was stupid.
That is a good question. Maybe he thought he would just blend in with the sculptures.
Drama. That's why.
Drama.
Y'all best to watch out. Y'all haven't seen Cube. I know how this ends.
Predator can jump.
Cube. That's a good one. It's been a while since I've seen that. Oh,
I've
there
never
we
seen it.
go. Oof.
Oh, by the way, I found, excuse me, I went to Walmart and I bought the Phantasm trilogy, 5 movies on DVD for $15, I think. It's a deal.
Yeah. I really wanted to get that. I've been meaning to. At one point, FYE had a Blu-ray set for 20, and I meant to grab it, and I never did.
I saw it
I
at
really
Walmart
love
and
the
I should
first
have
two
bought it.
Phantasm films. I really love the first two. It's been a long time since I've seen. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen any of the sequels. I watched the first one maybe 6 months ago, give or take.
I'll have to. I've actually never watched them. I'd love to binge them sometime.
There, it's a little weird to get into. It may take a couple watches. Like from today's standpoint, you're just kind of like, what is this? That's a fair standpoint to make.
Dude,
Fair.
I watched. I bought Romance on DVD a little while back. I actually got into it with somebody about. Excuse me, Christopher Walken. Christopher Walken is one of. I love Christopher Walken as an actor. I love him, but Christopher Walken is Christopher Walken in 90% of his movies. Like in The Dead Zone, he did some acting, and there's some movies where he does some acting, but for the most part, he's Christopher Walken. And somebody's like, "Well, have you seen True Romance?" Blah blah blah. I was like, "No, I haven't. I'll be honest." He's like, "Well, then you don't get to talk." I was like, "Dude, I've seen 20 other movies with Christopher Walken being Christopher Walken. Like, you can't argue with me that he's not like. I love him as an actor, but he gets paid." To be Christopher Walken because he's awesome. It's the same thing with Samuel L. Jackson. He's a great actor, but he gets paid to be Samuel L. Jackson.
Same with Wilson, man.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
no, I agree. But there's something about Christopher Walken that you just kind of like, all right, yeah, we're
right.
here. That's cool.
Right. Well, it's just like Al Pacino. Like ever since like Scarface, he has been more and more Al Pacino in every single movie he's in. Look at Any Given Sunday. Look at Heat. Like his mannerisms and how he talks and how he holds on to his words. And I love it. I'll eat it up. And that's all I want to see is with him. So I hold nothing against him. I think we got into a bit of an argument, but I was like, dude, I'm not trying to say he sucks. I'm just saying he's a brand and that's what people want to see. I'm not saying he can't act. I'm just saying in every movie, when I see him, that's all I see is Christopher Walken.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
That guy was pissed. But I threw in True Romance because everybody loves it. Written by Quentin Tarantino and Tony Scott, I think, did it.
Yeah.
I watched the first 30 minutes and it's good. I need more time to actually like be engrossed in it. So we'll see. I'm not impressed so far. It's okay.
I don't think I've seen it in forever, to be honest.
Yeah, it's got an all-star cast.
I feel like sometimes the movies that have the all-star cast aren't as great as I remember them being, like the older films. I don't
But it's
know.
funny though, because some actors, like in the early '90s, when they were just starting, like Samuel L. Jackson was established, but he wasn't A-list. Brad Pitt, he's in there. Um,
Man, speaking of Brad Pitt, California with a K. It's got David Duchovny. It's got him. Ah, and I can never think of her name from Cape Fear and um,
oh, Juliette Lewis.
yes, thank you.
Mhm.
That is a movie. That is a movie.
Dude, Cape Fear is amazing. I watched that about a month ago, and dude, that movie that movie should be talked about more. Like it's suspense, and it's like it kind of reminds me of Stoker's Dracula, where it's almost like comic booky and very artistic. It's weird, man. And
It's
and
a
Robert De Niro gives a hell of a performance.
I saw that movie the first time. I was probably oh, sorry, did not sleep much last night.
I'm with you.
Um, I think I saw Cape Fear my first time the full way through. I was like 17, and I was just like, that is a weird, hard to watch film.
Right. Dude, going back to AVP real quick though, I like the slime right here, kind of a throwback. And then like the tunnels kind of really makes me feel like the original Alien. Like I just think I know there's a lot of throwbacks. I know a lot of people complain about the pyramid and stuff like that, but to me it really works to kind of make the humans like a mouse in a cage, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And these two and their friendship right here, like this is pretty like for the small little bits of character development that they've been given.
yeah. It just I don't know. I don't know. I feel super disconnected from the film. Like even like trying to watch it today and trying to watch it before, like this alien looks awesome. The Predators look great, but I don't connect with it like I did when it first came out. And I don't know why it is.
See that part right there reminded me of the original Jurassic Park when he's talking about the Velociraptors, and he's like, one of them looks at you, and then the other two you didn't even know were there. You know, he's scaring that little kid.
Man, Jurassic Park, so good. I have
So
not
good.
seen any of the Chris Pratt, the Jurassic whatevers.
I saw the Jurassic World in theaters. It's good. I mean, it's a lot of similar stuff that you've seen. They spice it up in certain areas, but really it's a rehash of the first movie. They try to make a park, things go wrong. Um, but they actually in that movie try to make the raptors kind of a military grade, kind of like wild dogs controlled, and then they do a couple other genetic things with the monsters. And then I haven't seen the newest one. I own him on 4K because I bought the box set of the entire franchise. But yeah,
I'm still working with this guy with the first three.
yeah, that's a sweet opening. Dude,
I
this right here
still
though,
love this.
dude, the net that like tightens in on him, dude, so cool. And it's like razor wire. Dude, how strong is that to where your knife cuts in half?
Right? Steel wire, I guess.
And he's just
Look
backhanding
at
people
the
out here like I would a tennis
Predator.
ball.
Look at this big old predator. He's been eating his Wheaties.
Yeah, dude, they're massive. I love the spear in this one. I'm really glad they went back to the second movie and used that spear. It just adds that like, Native American hunter fighter. I don't know. I just really love that.
I like the spear. I feel like it fits.
I hate the blades though. I hate how they're 5 feet long. Oh, and then the first predator's going down. This scene here is good though. He phases back into normal looking, gets raised up by the alien.
This scene is iconic. Like I feel like for the Alien and the Predator franchise, that is
See, I would have added a little humor right there And when the alien goes to bite him, it just like donks off the helmet. Like it can't do it because the helmet's too strong. It's just like donk. It breaks the teeth out.
That'd have been funny.
This right
And
here feels like
I do
Mortal
think
Kombat. It's like
this
dun dun
moment,
dun 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 dun.
like this pickup of the music and that is iconic for both series, but for some reason, I don't know, it's hard. I feel like it's hard to stay as interested knowing how the franchises went. I feel like if they would have went better, maybe I would be a little more connected.
Well, I mean, Predators was after this movie. I mean, Prometheus, I've got a lot of respect for. I mean, I don't know. I don't love Prometheus, but I enjoy it. I like the cinematic language. I like that it actually tries to build on its characters and its story and its thoughts of life. So, I mean, this fight scene's great here, but the Predators should have won. Like, you got one alien taking out two Predators. Excuse me. See my vein popping
Very
out
good.
over here.
I'm yawning, you're coughing, we're fine. We're fine.
Getting old, man.
I do like that. The like he flips the blade and then he figures out that acid he can spray it. It's
Right.
almost like he was unaware of that stuff.
I love the
And he's
spraying.
trying to
Yeah,
take
the
that into
whipping.
account.
Like that right there should have killed the alien. Like smashing his head up against the wall at that speed, he should have died.
And this is my favorite looking predator. That's what sucks.
Yeah.
If I ever get a little more fit and rich, maybe instead of Batman, I'll do a Celtic Predator build.
You need to
Dude,
do a Bane build, man.
I'm too fat. I got gut.
Just buy the coat.
You just
Take
say that because I
control.
shaved my head.
Take control of your sitter.
I have a gut. And that's what makes Grid Alien. See, this stuff, it is iconic. Like, I remember when McFarlane Toys released the Grid Alien, I wanted that the most out of this line.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Dude, yeah. Yeah, no, fight scenes are good. It's weird how, like, okay, yeah, this sucks.
This shouldn't have happened.
Yeah. Like he should have used one of those throwing deals, the blades, or like a shooting deal. Like, yeah, he should have beat that alien. But we have to remember that these predators are training. They are not fully fledged
They're
warrior
young. They're
predators.
going into to. I believe the way it was explained is that they are boys going into manhood,
Basically, yeah.
which fits the whole hunter type of like thing, and it fits. Again, I don't know why. Like I do enjoy parts of this movie a lot. I just feel like there's so many misses in it too. There's
Like right
another one.
like right here, like you're talking about lighting and stuff like that. Where the hell is the lighting in this pyramid? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine if this was shot like Friday the 13th, where you can only see the flashlight? That would be some scary stuff. It would build intensity, build suspense, but you can
Yeah.
see everything, and there's no freaking lights in here.
But see this bringing back to the predator, like knowing that he's weaker. He's not. He's like,
Right,
I'm not. I'm not gonna kill you. There's
right.
no.
And this is the same thing as Predator 1, where she didn't have a gun, Predator 2, where she was pregnant. And I love this. Don't turn your
Turn
back
your
on
back
me.
on me, you moron.
Yeah. What an idiot.
He's like, bruh. Call back to Billy.
Which Billy?
What's his name, Billy? And first Predator, where they give the distanced scream.
Oh yeah, when he was on the bridge or whatever, and he cuts himself, and
Yeah. Now that scene's way more iconic, but
um, Billy really should have been the final guy in that original movie. But I feel like, I mean, obviously
imagine just
Dutch was
imagine
more
like
of a
being Jean-Claude Van Damme and still sitting back thinking about the day that you decided to be on the set of Predator because you heard you were going to fight Arnold, and they
yeah.
put you in a bug suit, and then the movie that comes out that you quit is nothing like the movie that you were filming, and you're just like, what the
Right. Yeah. I don't blame him though. That bug suit was terrible. It's cool though how it got brought back in Predators.
I am kind of sad that I didn't buy the Alpha Predator figure because I didn't realize it had a callback to that with the helmet. The NECA Alpha Predator that they released like last year, I want to say, or earlier this year.
Hmm.
Um, the helmet is actually that bug shape from the original suit that the photos leaked a while ago.
Huh.
And I'm like, man, I kind of wish I had that now.
Here's my question for you. Like, okay, so this alien's coming out, he's gonna get cut, but then later he gets face hugged. Wouldn't he blow himself up the moment he woke up?
Maybe
This
he
is
doesn't
sweet.
know.
You think it's like a sedated thing, maybe, to where he wakes up and doesn't realize what happens?
Or he doesn't know that that's how they reproduce. Maybe they send them in blind.
Hmm. Maybe. This is stupid too. Like you're gonna take a timeout in the middle of combat to mark yourself. Like, give me a break.
This scene is more for, like, I feel like comic and cartoon and game fans than it is for, like, the Predator movie fans.
Well, but this is also harkening back to like Native Americans, to warriors, to painting and representing yourself as a warrior.
Yeah.
I mean, I like I said, I get that, but man, you're still on the clock. You're still working here. You didn't just call timeout and everybody's stopping.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he said, it's a rite of passage. I get that, but still, like, the thing that bugs me too is like, okay, so he cut Grid's his tail, right? And then the acid destroyed his arm blades. But later he carves up that alien after it's dead, and the knife is fine. So it's weird how some things, like the little throwy blade thing, like some things don't melt, some things do. I get the throwing saucer thing because it goes through him so fast. Maybe it doesn't collect the blood, but the knife thing
That
always
bugged,
bothered me.
that bugged me too. And the only thing that I could think of in my brain that isn't necessarily logical is like, is that all cartilage or something? Like, is there no blood flow there?
Right. Or maybe it was been dead for so long that the acid, kind of loses its potency or whatever.
Yeah, but I feel like that's part of the danger. Was it Alien or Aliens where it's like dying and the acid is still like 90% of the danger? Which one was that?
It's dying? Are you talking about the facehugger or the actual alien?
Alien.
I don't know. It didn't ring a bell.
Or was that in, I don't know, one of the, it's been so long since I've watched anything in just the Alien franchise, but I remember the acid being like the number one threat after it's been cut.
I mean, it's really big in Resurrection because you can't, breach a hole through the exterior of the ship, and it's present in the first movie as well. So it's more of first movie and fourth movie. So
Yeah,
it wouldn't be the
one
first
of them.
one. It was never hurt, so it must be in the fourth one.
Yeah, must be. I don't know. I can't remember exactly the scene. Also, bro, imagine like that being your life. Like, this is how we go down on top of
Right.
this pyramid.
See, I like how it plays in the lore of like that's why they have the exploding wrist thing, so nobody can prove that they were there. They can kill a ton of people around them. I like that it plays into the lore of Predator.
No.
Can you believe the dude that was making the sketches for the Predator was actually detained because they saw the drawings when he was in an airport? They saw the drawings and they detained him because they thought it was like something so weird that they had to detain him based on these weird pictures and stuff like that. And somebody actually had to say, no, he's actually with a studio and they're making this movie. Like that tells you
I
something about
didn't
the
know
80s and
that.
how far we've come.
I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
kind of a cool story.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
I love how he grabs this Desert Eagle, which is probably it's either 50 cal or 357 Magnum, and he shoots it limp wristed from the
This is
hip.
what we call pure luck.
Okay, dude.
That
And this is
moment
where
that you're like, oh, I win. Oh, no, I don't.
this is where I realized I messed up.
Oh, I needed all of those bullets
Oh, he was
and
dead no
more.
matter what. Did you know in the original Alien they actually used I think it was a cow's stomach as the inside of the egg?
I did not.
That's pretty cool, man.
That is. I do feel like the dialogue between these two is not well executed.
It's not. Well, that's a big criticism of Paul W.S. Anderson is the dialogue because it's a lot of exposition dump. It's like this person knows everything and this person's smart, but then it's just a lot of dumping of information.
It is. And yeah, they are in a way. I feel like we did Freddy versus Jason last week, man, and I feel like that movie gets a lot of appreciation and then also a lot of crap. AVP, like we've been talking a lot about it. I struggle to connect with it, and it sucks because when it first came out, I absolutely loved it. Um, it's got some of the most iconic scenes from both franchises, but the dialogue is bad. The exposition's just like, oh, I know all this dump. Like he was just saying, it's a little rough. The lore with the predators and the aliens is well executed, but I just feel like everything else was kind of like
Yeah,
bad.
it's one of those things where I think like just like Freddy vs. Jason, I give a lot of leeway because I appreciate the fact that we even have it because like stuff like this shouldn't even exist. Like studios at this point in time weren't taking risks until Bride of Chucky. Like you could go back to Scream, the meta thing, which obviously wasn't the first time meta was used, but Scream, Bride of Chucky, Freddy vs. Jason, it made room for these kind of movies. But yeah, I mean.
Mhm.
The, the characters, I don't care about the human characters. Like I'm here for Predator and Alien fighting. That's it. It's not like Freddy vs. Jason where like the characters, like who Freddy and Jason are going up against, are a big deal. The final girl aspect and all that kind of stuff. In this kind of movie, if it's not Sigourney Weaver or Arnold, we don't really care. Like it's just,
Or Danny
it,
Glover.
well, for the most part, I love Predator too. A lot of people don't. And so for the most part, if it's not Sigourney Weaver or Arnold, people just wouldn't care. But I think
Yeah.
this movie does a good enough job giving you characters that are strong characters. Like each one of them smart or they're physically capable. They have guns. They're
But
military.
we're already down to two characters. Like
Right, but I mean, still, like these are all characters that got dumped into face huggers. They got dumped into aliens. They got dumped into predators. Like they had no chance going into this.
I I don't know. I just and now we're down to one.
Yeah.
and there was one.
And then
And
there was one.
somehow she just figures out on her own, like, to try and fight with the predator instead of run. Like, I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm left
but
alone here. That dude walks in. Um,
but
nope,
she had
nope,
but she had no
nope.
chance, really. It's just like when you roll up to like a bear or something like that. You can either play dead or start running. If you run, you're dead. It's the same thing with like a big dog. They tell you don't turn and run on a big dog or you're gonna lose.
I will say, of the Versus films, I do feel like this is the weakest. So, Batman versus Superman, Freddy versus Jason, Alien versus Predator. I feel like this one is the weakest, but also in a way somehow it's just as iconic in its franchise.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I think Predator and Alien is always for the most part in space. Predator for the most part is always, like I said, in the heat, in the jungle, or in the city. Like it's really weird. And then you put the pyramid in there, and you try to put the lore of everything in there. It's a lot. It just really is. Especially when you
What I
add
was
no
saying,
original characters to the franchises, really, for the most part.
yeah, what I was saying earlier about uh, Prometheus being an HBO special probably would have worked better in the original intended direction. This may have worked better in something like that because cramming all of this in an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then making it PG-13 so it can get to the masses were all things that it's a little rough to try and do.
Yeah. See, I'm not sure why this predator would attack her. She's unarmed other than the cannon in her backpack.
Because she's got the weapon and she's healthy.
Right, but I still don't think he would have attacked her. I don't think he was planning on killing her. I think he was gonna
Well,
attack her.
he was going to take the first move.
God, can you imagine if the predator would have just died right here?
Like my
Ugh.
buddy Celtic Predator did.
Ugh.
I just want to point out she's under where she stabbed him.
That's kind of what like it. I don't know. I'll buy it because of the angle, and the spear is very, very long, but it's pretty close to her hand. See, that's the
Also, double tap, bro. Double tap.
yeah. I think they do a really good job though of the slime and everything. And
Yeah.
like they use some CGI aliens in this movie, but for the most part, I think they did a really good job with the aliens. I mean, no disrespect was done to either franchise, really.
Yeah. I do like that they kept the sound effects the same for both
Hmm.
for both predators and aliens. They didn't do a
Yeah,
whole lot for that
right.
because I feel like when you take franchises like this and you make them more modern, you start to make little changes like that that almost take you out of it.
right. But the little the laser blast, the little laser on the forehead, yeah, the screams. They really did a good job.
Yeah.
And you brought back the alien queen, which we saw in the second movie, we saw in the fourth movie, kind of, but it didn't really play that much of a role. This movie does it does offer quite a bit. It's just, yeah, like I said, it's just so, I don't know, it's so funky and out of the formula.
Yeah.
I almost feel
And
like Alien vs Predator would have done better, like in a future, not like in modern day. Like you put it on a I don't know, you put it on the Predator planet, and then you show more of the Predator planet, and they've been working with aliens, and the aliens get out or something. I don't know. It just feels like if you're something this extreme, when you're going to pull in these two super larger than life figures, it feels like you almost need to completely detach it into sci-fi instead of trying to ground it back down to reality.
I feel like maybe, this was too early to give like the Predator planet because you probably had something so grand that it's difficult to portray on film in 2004.
Yeah.
Um, Whereas now in 2021, with the right set design and the proper CG effects, you can make an amazing set for the Predator home planet.
Yeah.
Um, Even Predators, the game preserve was done really well. So I don't know.
Well, it's just like, I mean, the problem is too is it's like, let's just go back to Halloween because this is where it always happens. It's like, you want to show a little bit more, but you don't want to explain everything. You don't want to completely uproot everything you know, and you don't want to just change things completely. So I get it, but just that little bit that we got with the Predator planet in the AVPR, when the Wolf Predator's up there, he's just chilling in his lazy boy, and then he's got to go to work. That's sweet, man.
Yeah.
God, I can't wait to be over this. I feel like I literally have a fishbowl over my head. I feel like the leader guy from Hellboy 2, the Golden Army.
Dude, real quick, that was the cheesiest scene in either franchise. It started good with the Predator showing her, okay, blood on the alien, it doesn't burn through. Blood on this, it will burn through. So that's why I'm making you this. But then, like, got wire, building the weapon, and then we're going to play the original Predator song underneath it.
I think it would have played better had he just like run off and left her, and then like she did all that stuff and then like ran after him because he doesn't need her. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He might respect her as a warrior and like she's held her own. But yeah, I think you're right there. I think if he would have just like showed her like, look, you're gonna be all right if you use this stuff. You can leave. He would have assumed that she's just gonna run out. She's gonna bounce. But for her to run after him would have been pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And you could have had him stop and like look back or something like that. But yeah, the whole like Batman and Robin here or Batman and Batgirl, like really, I don't know. I'm with you on that, but it doesn't pull me out of the movie too much. But
The direct follow scene where the Queen gets all of them there and she uses them to attack her,
the drone,
so she can get out, that's good.
yeah.
But literally 10 seconds before that is horrible.
Yeah, every time you see the aliens, whether it be Resurrection or this movie, when they use their acid to their benefit, I freaking love it. It just,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It
In the
shows
hive,
they're more intelligent.
yeah, and the hive mind and stuff like that, where they're all one mind and stuff like that. I freaking love it.
Yeah.
He died before his C batteries did. That sucks. Is it? I love the Alien franchise for and this is going to be weird, but I'm going to say it anyway. Like the sexual undertones, like the rape, the impregnation, the like leather, like I don't know. There's something like like he is stuck on the.
So the H.R. Geiger artwork was designed around a fascination with sex and sexual organs, like that.
Right.
That's no secret.
And I love it.
I feel like it was an interesting way for his art to go out there, but it's also kind of weird to think about in a way.
Well, it is, but I mean that everybody can relate to it. Everybody can attach to it. It's a fundamental, like it's been there since the beginning of time. I mean, not leather, obviously, and that kind of stuff, probably, but I don't know. It works so well to the aliens' favor. And the camouflage, like, there's just so much good stuff when it comes to the Alien franchise.
This is cool. In just a second.
I don't know if you can see it right there, man, but I actually have that Predator holding a little alien. You can't see it probably, but he's actually holding one because of that scene.
Dude, that scene is great. And he's like, ugh. Like when he kills it like we are with spiders.
Yeah. Oh, I hate this. Yeah, some bad CGI here.
Really bad. And Transformers wasn't too long after this, and they did better.
No, Transformers was 2000. Well, okay, I guess it was 2007, 2008. So yeah, you're right. It's not that much further off. But that's also different. That's also Michael Bay and Platinum Dunes and big budget. I mean, a little bit different.
Really? Really?
What?
It's a bomb. Man,
Holy bomb,
God,
Batman.
it's so rough. I don't know. There are redeemable qualities about the movie, but the dialogue is not one of them.
No, I know.
The supergiant predators are awesome.
I feel like they are a little bit top heavy though. They just feel a little too bulky, not very maneuverable.
Yeah.
That's the second time that they had to use a catchphrase. Like, really?
Yep. That just looks silly as hell. They both just.
That was a lot of work making that pyramid to just one time blow it up. Like the one time you dudes fail, we have to blow this thing up.
More really bad CGI. Oh, God.
That's 2003 for you, man.
I feel like I'm
2004,
watching
excuse me.
Independence Day with this CGI.
Well, but once again, like there's some differences. Like 1993, 1994, like with Jurassic Park, a lot of money was put into that movie. Same thing with Independence Day, like same thing with The Matrix. And The Matrix actually has kind of an scapegoat because it's computer generated, like it's in a computer, so things can be a little bit more rubbery and stuff like that, and your mind kind of accepts it because, well, we played video games. But
Like
yeah,
I
when you
said before, though, I was not forgiving on the second Matrix at
oh
all. The
really?
first one, yeah.
See, I actually, I mean, don't get me wrong, the original Matrix is far and away better than the sequels, but I actually
Oh,
really, really liked Reloaded. I think the characters are great. I think the stakes are there. I don't know. I
I think
really,
it's
really
that
like
with
Reloaded.
Matrix, it just the first one did it so well that we didn't necessarily need any follow-ups, in my
Right,
opinion.
right.
Like,
Well,
there's certain movies that don't need a sequel or a reboot or a spin-off, and I feel like The Matrix is one of them. Like they had that story and they set it in that movie. That's it. The end. And
up
then they
until
made
the
it.
in this part right here, up until the point he takes the mask off, I think they were gonna make out. Like I don't think she realized like how he was gonna look. There was that sexual tension right there. They were gonna make out, and now he's
I don't think
disappointed.
that. But his again, some of the CG not looking too great.
He's not CG,
Some of them is.
really. I don't see it.
Yep, on my screen I see some of it. It's really
Oh, I see it
wet
now. I see
rubber,
it.
but there's touch ups that are CG and they're not
I
good.
see it. I see what you're saying now. Yeah, I see it. Especially now that they zoomed in on him.
Run! Mommy's home. His face.
Right, right, right.
I never thought they would make a Predator look surprised, but they did it with him.
He's like, God dang, I put in my 40 hours, no overtime. God.
Also, can we talk about how the chest bursters are immediate for everybody else in this movie, but him?
Yeah, exactly. See, that's the thing I don't like is they kind of this is the point where they really drop the ball with that. She rushes in and saves him at the last second. Yeah, it looked bad, but I don't know. I get it. It's fine. That sucks that the quality of movies had to lower because time constraints, budget, like then the fact that, 2003 they were pushing for the future and they probably just didn't have I don't know, they probably just didn't have the same amount of people
So
that were working on practical effects.
it was also weird because it was like, they had these grand ideas. Like I see all the ideas and the time and the love that went into it. Don't get me wrong, but they just didn't have the means to make it better. And then I don't know, maybe if the dialogue was better, I'd be more forgiving of this terrible CGI.
Well, right there when the tail swoops in, I didn't believe she was in danger at all. Like her
Yeah.
reaction to the tail, I didn't buy it.
Or that.
This right here, the stupid ninja flip. I always hated that twist stab thing. God, I
Dude, he
hate
just
that.
Donatello'd him.
God, I'll defend most of this movie, but god dang it, do I hate that part.
Cowabunga, dude.
Right, right. It's exactly how it feel. How it felt. Yeah, like. Uh,
The one thing I do like is this is the first time that you really see a predator working with someone else for a common goal, but in the first two movies they're somehow capable of that.
well, this is the first time you really see a predator struggling too, like yeah, being overmatched. Like you saw him earlier fighting with a regular alien, but really he's outmatched now, and it's just hand to hand. Like he's basically outmatched with a normal alien, but here it's not even it's no question.
Yeah.
Yoink.
I don't know. This looks bad too. This looks really bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
It sucks that practical effects, like ever since you had the Abyss, T2. Really though, I always say that the one movie that really ruined it was The Matrix. Like after The Matrix, everything had CGI in it,
Yeah.
and the level of quality they just didn't even really care.
And that's the thing, like you can this is a thing that I say to a lot of people who inquire about um, practical effects versus CG. Like Terminator 2, arguably, I would say roughly 95% of that looks good enough or passable by today's standards.
Right.
That films in between there don't. And that's because they mixed practical effects, majority practical effects, with as little CGI as humanly possible.
Right. It was the same thing with like Jurassic Park. Like they used it very, very sparingly, and they really focused on the times that they did it.
Yeah.
This is sweet here. It's cool, but at the same time, like literally that alien queen was right there. Like, were you guys gonna blow up the whole planet? Were you guys just like hanging out in your box seats? Like,
They were
and like
just waiting for the
they have this scanning technology like he used earlier to see inside that human to see the alien burst getting ready to burst. They wouldn't scan him real fast, like in the first Alien
Hey,
movie, they talk about quarantine and all that stuff. Like these guys wouldn't be smart enough to look at that.
too many plot holes. They had to make a sequel.
Yeah,
And then see, from what I understood, I've I've heard this much of the script for the follow up to AVPR, and it was that she was coming back.
Oh, this guy?
No, her.
Oh, she was. Okay.
Yeah. That she was being detained.
She also, like, you'd be cold, like stupid cold, like on the ground, fetal position cold. You wouldn't, like, she's like me when it's like 70-degree weather outside right now. Like, it's not 70 degrees, it's like 10, if that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think there's just enough dropping the ball that it does hurt this movie, but I really do. I still love this movie.
See, it's funny because when the movie first came out, I watched it so much. I really like I could blare through how terrible some of it was with no problem. But now, like, really, I just want to see the scenes with the aliens and the predators, and that's it. I don't want to watch the dialogue. I don't want to watch story arc. I don't want to watch none of that.
It really does take a long time. That's why we talked through like a lot of the first quarter of the movie because it does take a long time to go, look, oh, this area is heating up. There's this pyramid. We got to get there. Like it is a lot to just get there and get it going. My headphones died right at the end.
And Pred Alien.
That's a sweet ending, though. I mean,
It
how
was,
else
it
were you
was
going to end it?
so for the game fans who like got into the whole Pred Alien thing, that was the perfect setup for a sequel. And then AVPR came out and it flopped. Arguably, the characters aren't great. The film was shot in too much darkness. It just it also missed so many marks. But the redeeming quality of it is the wolf predator.
Oh, so good.
Where I feel like the predator here was almost comical in a way, the surviving predator. Um, the Celtic predator was just that's the thing I don't get. I feel like he was underutilized because he walked in and he was like, I'm gonna take this out. And you
Right.
could see that attitude like glowing off of him. And I feel like just one fight scene out of him was not enough. Like,
Right. When it comes to the surroundings of this movie, like I said, I really think that this was favored as an Alien movie. But in the sequel, when you got, but what's nice though, in the next movie, you get a full-fledged veteran, like Green Beret Rambo Predator going up against all-you-can-eat predators and a super predator alien like. I actually think AVPR is a bit better of a movie. I enjoyed it a little bit better more because it instead of like going futuristic but kind of grounded in the a pyramid temple thing, it kind of goes back to like, well, what if aliens actually just did show up and were running the streets? And the fact that AVPR is so mean, like pregnant women, like all this stuff, like the AVPR is freaking mean. Like it kills kids. It does all the things you're not supposed to do, and it's unapologetic. But hang on.
but again, bad dialogue. The plot is hit or miss, and everything is shot in pitch black. Which I mean, you could just listen to it instead of watching it.
Yep.
A Covenant, it was good to look at. I didn't enjoy the movie. We talked about this a little bit earlier. Knowing what the original plan was for the trilogy, and then hearing that they folded to fans needing the xenomorph now, kind of ruined it for me. And I mean, Prometheus was what it was. Covenant was just. I was super excited to see it in theaters, and then I saw it, and I haven't watched it since, and I don't plan to anytime soon.
So Prometheus for me, and I know we're bringing up Prometheus to talk to Covenant, but Prometheus for me, like with Wayland dying, and searching for his maker or a way to go beyond death or to extend his life hits home with me just because I've had so much loss at a young age that it makes me think and it makes me wonder what I would be at that age. So for Prometheus, for me, like I said, the cinematic language, like the looking for your makers, the engineers, like all the things that are happening in the movie, it makes me think, and I like that. With Covenant, it's something similar, right? So we have in the first movie, now I'm blanking on his mind or on his name, the android. God dang it. Anyway, if he realizes that when Waylon dies, he's like, well, if my God, my creator dies, like what is God? And then he realizes that he can be an influence in life and creating life and stuff like that, and that's what kind of pushes forward Covenant. Like he goes back and he kills the engineers, he kills the creators of his creator, and he becomes his own god by making his own life and stuff like that, and then he has to come face to face with another android that's very similar to himself. And that dialogue, like there's a lot of depth in these movies that I think goes overlooked just because it's very different, like we talked about earlier, from the flavor of the Alien franchise. Once again, though, let's go back to what we just talked about. The CGI in Covenant is kind of garbage. The actors are pretty good. The characters are pretty good in both. I care about the captain. I care about Waylon's daughter, whose name I can't remember. God, that's going to bug me. Why can't I remember? David? I think David. David's the android's name.
Yeah, David.
And he, and like his God complex, his search for meaning. Like he has no soul. So what does that mean? Like all this stuff really hits home for me and becomes very interesting. God and all that other stuff. So aliens, and then you got Prometheus and Covenant. If that, it kind of, I don't know. I like the idea of the planet that has been engineered with like all these different things that can kill you, and like how they interact and stuff like that, and like how they can interact with the human body and how they can morph us into something else or make us become something else. And like the engineer scene at the end of Prometheus is really cool, where he gets like sucked into the door. I really think it's cool. I don't know. I have to watch them on their own merits. Like I need one more movie after Covenant to really bring it home. I mean, you can fill in the gaps at the end of Covenant with David and everything else, but the other thing that leaves you a bad taste in your mouth is like you really get involved into what's her name in Prometheus and David, and then when you get into Covenant, you said you saw it, right? Like one time?
Yeah.
She's dead. Like she has no impact. You see, like there's like one little scene about her, and that's about it. So it's, I don't know. I don't know. I like them. I'm glad they exist, but I need one more movie to just say, hey, look, this trilogy right here is great, and it leads really well into Alien, which Alien's about the xenomorph, but at the same time, it is, I don't know. It could have more depth than just what happens in the first Alien movie, if you know what I mean? Like we talked about in some of our other commentaries, how prequels or sequels can actually add to the original movie's value if it's done right. I think another movie maybe, but like you said earlier, fans just demanded more xenomorph. They just demanded more action. They demanded all this stuff. I don't know. I like I'm not trying to be, I know you wanted negative comments, but I don't know. Some movies that are so easy to bash, it's hard for me to bash them because it's a dog that's already been kicked 1,000 times. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's got to be something in it we can find, but the CGI is garbage in Covenant. Like when he's like running up and then on the ship, bad.
At least the Alien franchise is not connected to a film as bad as The Predator.
It's bad, but at least it doesn't betray the lore. Like that's something where I like I can kind of delete it from my brain, or I could watch it without really crying about it, because to me, it doesn't take away from the first movie. It doesn't take away from the second. Doesn't take away from Predators. In fact, it kind of adds a little bit of good stuff to Predators because it adds on the fact that they're changing their DNA and they're trying to become more. It's not a good movie, but it doesn't. It's a bad movie, but it doesn't kill. It doesn't hurt the characters or the flavor of the franchise.
It does, though. It makes it all a joke. And from what I understand, the film was not to take predators into account. So if that's the case, if you're trying if you're the writer, director, and you're like, I got my own original idea. I'm going to copy and paste the last film. Like, you can't say that that's your idea. That was totally the creative genius behind Predators, which is, again, like I've said before, like I have my problems with it, but it is a far superior film to The Predator. Far superior.
I don't think they didn't copy the end of Predators.
Big predators hunting little predators. It was the same.
Well, but in Predators, you didn't know if that was a different species of predators or you didn't know. In Predators, how they kind of make it out, they kind of make it seem to be the fact that there's two different types and one hunt the other, and it's not necessarily that they work against each other. It's just when they're in their training mode or whatever in their hunting area, that's when they go against each other. You don't. The thing I kind of like about the Predator is the fact that they are changing their DNA, trying to become more like this. They like the Predators could be humans that have DNA messed with themselves so much to be, because humans are animals, right? I mean, we are. At the end of the day, like, we'd love to think we're more evolved and more thought process and yada yada, but at the end of the day, we're all animals. So to tap into that animalistic urge and to expand on that and just become a predator and keep pushing yourself to be bigger and bigger and stronger and more, invincible, I kind of like that. And I kind of think, to me, that actually kind of works with the Predator's MO.
That's literally the only thing that makes sense in that movie. That's it. Like, everything. Robot suits at the end, that's the Predator solution to humans saving themselves.
That was weak.
Is the Cyrax suit from Mortal Kombat. Really?
That was weak. That was weak.
Smoke?
But I do think that the, like Jabari's saying with that, I do think that was a throwaway line in the Predator where they were talking about how, like, that might be the next step of evolution. Like, it's just the kind of cheesy how they put it. I like just the different way that the human brain thinks, right? Like, if you're wired towards more analytical, more, whatever, just like Rain Man, like, he took him to the casino and they wiped the casino out, right? Spoiler if you haven't seen Rain Man, but like the idea that, there's different levels of intelligence, I think that was really cool. Not necessarily that had to be a real big cornerstone of the movie, but I do like the idea that a certain individual with a certain intelligence, with a certain wiring could tap into that kind of stuff.
I feel like the film, like, taking something like autism and stating that that's going to be the world's next superpower, it's not the right time to make that a joke, and it's not the right time to make that necessarily a serious thing. And again, that's Shane Black failing miserably.
Well, hang on, let's
something proper.
Let's take a little time out though. Like, if you ever seen The Imitation Game with Benedict Cumberbatch?
No.
So he was autistic. I can't remember if I own it, but I should watch it again. It's a great movie. But he was autistic, and he actually created the first computer. And because his brain was wired a certain way, because he could think certain patterns, he was able to create something that nobody else could. Makes me really interested in that.
Tone of film. So I'm guessing that film is nowhere near toned what the fart and dick jokes that was the Predator.
Right. That's where it falls far.
And
That's
then
where it falls
also,
flat.
yeah, it's making fun of the idea that's a possibility, but then also trying to play it as, oh, it is a possibility, and then it's a movie that doesn't understand. Like it's poorly executed on every level.
The Cyrax look like the Predator.
Man, no, so I know that's not the original ending. I know that the original ending hasn't been released. I know that somebody somewhere is probably in a basement really upset right now that they didn't get the original ending to the movie. Um, but if it is bad enough, if that ending is bad enough that somebody came in and said, no, you gotta change that. And we're gonna give you suits that look like they're from Mortal Kombat Annihilation. And those are gonna be what saves the day for forever. Is an anti-predator suit, but it's silver instead of yellow. Oh God! Oh,
It was bad. Well, no, the original intent was to have those. They were going to have failed mutations of the Predator evolution attacking the. I can't remember what they call that squad, but and they were going to have different predators in there and things like that. And I thought that was really cool. That's why there's that time gap where he's talking about. The night before, whatever, and then all of a sudden they jump forward. It's been a minute since I've seen the movie, but yeah, originally the original ending of the movie was going to be a lot better. I'm not saying it was going to be perfect, but it would have been more action packed. It would have been more palatable. It would have been better. But yeah, I'm kind of sad. I bought the where'd you go? The 4K with the digital download of the 4 Predator movies. I probably should have saved myself $8 and not bought the fourth one, but I don't know. The Predator is bad. I do think there are some fun moments in it. I like the fact that Gary Busey's son, Jake Busey's in it as the head scientist dude. I think that's a nice throwback to Predator 2. It's a little on the nose, obviously, but I like Jake Busey. I know he's kind of a turd to certain people, but I always liked him as an actor, and I just thought that was really cool. And there's some dialogue in it. I like Thomas Jane. There's other characters I come to see the movie for. I mean, really though, it's at the very bottom. The Predator's at the very bottom of the Predator franchise, even including AVP and AVPR. But it's bad, but I don't think it's like, it's not Alien 3 bad. Alien 3 betrays characters.
I will watch Alien 3 any day, anytime over the Predator. I will never sit through the Predator again, ever, for any reason at all whatsoever. If you ask me to review it, I will say no. I will say just play the clip from Seed of Chucky where we're both banging our heads on the table. That's all we need. That's it.
It's not Seed of Chucky bad. There's not much in this world that's Seed of Chucky bad.
I would rather watch Seed of Chucky.
Oh, God. That's pretty bad.
I hated the Predator so much. I want my money back from that ticket.
Yeah, like I said, I should have saved $8 or whatever it was and just bought the 3-pack instead of it, but I had to have it because I'm a bit of a completionist and I have more movies than I know what to do with. And
so, you know, I'm a completionist too, and I've been talking about that really bad Hellraiser film that I want. I can't remember the name of it, but it's between...
Judgment?
No, it's not Judgment. That one I enjoy. It's the one right before that. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. But it's the first one to feature not Doug Bradley. I would rather go ahead and complete that than buy the Predator.
Oh, wow. Wow. It's bad, but it's not that bad.
It's terrible.
It's bad. It's just not that bad.
It's the worst.
Oh, it's the worst, but it's not that bad.
No, yeah. the worst.
I would literally watch that on repeat for 24 hours before I watch Alien 3. I hate
Oh God,
Alien
I'd
3.
trade you. I'd switch. I'd watch Alien 3 on repeat for 24 hours instead of watch The Predator.
God, you talk about all these franchises going back to the original movie. Like Alien 3 is like the movie that needs to go back and be redone. Pick up from Aliens, like I don't know. Like just can you imagine the loss? Like so in the first movie, right? Or excuse me, in the second movie, Ripley loses her daughter, right? Her daughter dies, and here she is, like, left with no purpose anymore. Like, she's stripped of everything she knows. She loses her command and all this other crap. Can you imagine if we did an Alien 3 where Ripley wakes up and, like, her cryogenic, like say she's in, her and Hicks and Newt are all in their cryogenic deals, but they don't work. Like say they kind of get into like an asteroid field or something like that to where it malfunctions and they age normally and they wake up and all of them are in the twilight of their years, and then all of a sudden this alien crap pops off again and they're in their 60s or whatever they are, and they still have to deal with this. I kind of like that. Like they have nothing to lose. They're mean. They're angry. I don't know. It could be good. If you're gonna go back and do it, you got to do it now. I know there was a script out for something like that, but anyway, we'll wrap this up. I could go on for a tangent forever on how Alien 3 just brutal and
The Predator.
Alien Resurrection, dude, is just a guilty pleasure. Like anybody who likes that movie, and I like that movie. I like Resurrection a lot. I know it's very popular right now to hate Joss Whedon. That's fine if you hate him, whatever. But I like Resurrection because I hate Alien 3 so much. I give it a pass.
Resurrection's kind of a fun film. I think it was just that perfect amount of cheese and like alien gore and kind of crappy like grunge look that it just sits right. Like it's yeah, guilty pleasure is the right word, but at the same time, like I don't care. I like it. I'll watch it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's fantastic. But well, if you're watching after the fact, we're gonna probably take a break next week, and then so I'm not sure what we're gonna go with week after that. I will have this uploaded as soon as possible. I'm not sure. Let's see. Candyman actually might be our next review, our actual review. We'll go see that in theaters maybe.
That's the goal.
But for everybody that came in and commented, we appreciate it. We do like this movie. There's just a lot of slow parts in it. There's a lot of things we get a little frustrated with. But we really do appreciate for coming in. Check us out every Thursday. Hopefully we're going to be doing this except for next Thursday. And then if we get too sick to where I can't even talk, where I'm running out of breath like I am now, make sure and like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you're on YouTube. Till next time, JK out.
Peace.